Hola Buenas. Today we have a bit of a makeshift studio, but it should be absolutely fine. Basically, I'm in the UK right now. Christmas is done and we're in the limbo week. So it's the week in between Christmas and New Year's. This is marked by a collective slowdown with the major holiday behind us and now focusing on New Year's. People usually take this time to reflect on the year and look forward to the year to come. That's why our journey today begins with my trip to England. So of course, as you know by now, I live in Madrid, Spain. However, of course, my family are still in the UK. So I flew back to London in order to spend time with them during the Christmas period. So this day actually occurred on the 17th of December. I had multiple ideas of what I wanted to film. However, I was not entirely sure what I was setting my mind on. And in the end, it turned out to be more of a vlog. Without any further ado, let's get started. Empecemos. Our journey starts at almost 6 a.m. in the morning, which was the time that I was actually waiting for my flight. The sun was only just starting to rise at this time. So just a reminder to anyone interested, if you're flying into Gatwick, you do not need to buy a ticket if you're going into London. All you need to do is use your debit card. It means that you can skip the queue. Not many people know this, so you see that there's a spiral queue that goes all the way to the tickets, but you don't need to do that. You simply use your debit card on the Oyster card reader and you can go through. This is also true for all of the underground and buses in central London. Thankfully, I had my parents picking me up, and so I didn't necessarily need to get the train, but I just wanted to mention it to you guys because I can imagine anyone who's visiting London and they're flying into Gatwick, this is so much easier than having to queue up. And as for the pricing, you're looking at about £11.30 for the trip into London, which is really not that bad. Of course, that's £11.30 at the time of writing. However, I would imagine it would be around that price. We fully intended to make the most of this day, especially because I had an early flight, and the initial plan was actually to go to Stonehenge. However, my family live in southeast London, very close to Kent, and so Stonehenge is a little bit out of the way, as you can imagine. But for those that don't know, Stonehenge is basically an ancient circle of rocks which was built around 2500 BC. Now there's a lot of speculation as to why they were built. However, people say that it's for religious purposes or maybe a ceremonial purpose. The reason I thought it would make a really good YouTube idea is because it has so much mystery behind it. But the problem is, with regards to filming it, you only film it for the rocks and that's it. There's nothing else around there. In addition, I didn't know what else I could add to the topic already. There are people that have covered this in vast detail and there was no need for me to input anymore. Okay, so now you're wondering, if you didn't go to Stonehenge, what did you do instead? Well, we decided to go to Chartwell. For those that don't know, Chartwell is the home of Sir Winston Churchill, who lived in Chartwell from 1922 all the way until his death in 1965. Winston Churchill is most famous for being the Prime Minister during World War II. So this is where things get a little bit funny, okay? So what I had done is recorded a very simple introduction. Hola Buenas. Today we're in Chartwell. This was the home of Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister during World War II. As you can see, it's a very cold day today, but we are very close to Christmas. So hopefully we'll see some Christmas things here too. So the reason it was quite funny is that we fully intended to walk around Chartwell. However, once we had looked at the prices, with 5 adults was looking to be about £100, which is ridiculous for just an enjoyable walk for the day. So my plan was to go into detail about Winston Churchill, his life, his home, and how beautiful the environment was. But at £20 per person, it was not going to happen. And I also filmed an outro, which was quite funny because you can imagine we were only there for 5 minutes. We literally got out the car, had a look at the pricing, realized how expensive it was, and got back in the car. 5 minutes, that was it, and we were leaving. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Okay, so our backup of our backup of our backup plan was now to go to Christmas Tree Farm, which, as the name implies, is where you can buy Christmas trees. However, this was not the purpose of this trip. Our plan was actually to go and see the farm animals. Basically, what you can do is you can pay to go in, and then you can pay for a little bucket of food. And this food you can feed to the animals. It's a good fun thing to do, especially if you have kids. But you know, for us, we just wanted to have a nice walk with the dog and have a look at the place. We've actually been there multiple times before, but it's just a fun thing to do. And of course, I also filmed an introduction here too. It was a very quick intro, but no one could take it seriously because of course I had filmed one just before. In addition, we had gone from Stonehenge, a great mystery, to the house of Sir Winston Churchill and all of the history that is held in that place, to now just simply a farm. Hola Buenas. Here we are at Christmas Tree Farm. Something but of course it's still relevant. It's Christmas Tree Farm during Christmas, okay? And as I say, the prices were far more acceptable. So as you can see, you can actually buy Christmas trees here. It's really cool. Here we go.
And also you want to say
Oh, touch this tongue! Oh, touch this tongue!
I had these shoes cleaned just before I left for this trip and they've already got mud on them. Typical UK. We finished our day in a pub where I had a Guinness 00. This is something I really miss here in the UK because we don't really get it in Spain. I remember one time I spent an entire day trying to find Guinness 00. They said they sold it in El Corte Inglés. I went there and they didn't sell it. The reason I like Guinness 00 so much is that it is the most authentic of all of the non-alcoholic versions of drinks. Well, in my opinion. And here are a few pictures of Ellie and I. She wasn't feeling so well because of allergies, which is quite funny because that's something that runs in our family. And that's everything from this vlog. I hope you don't mind this kind of makeshift setup we have here. I'm actually using just a random light in the background as like a light to make myself more illuminated. I normally have all professional lighting in the background. I normally have a speaker on me, but this will have to do. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a happy new year and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.